Happy Monday to my lovely ENC2210 students. We are back from spring break. I almost got caught on grading during spring break. I think I told you guys what I was doing. I was working a conference throughout the entire week. So I was stuck in a lot of things where I couldn't be grading, but I did catch up on a lot. I still have for you guys, I have two things that I have to look at. One is the technical instructions, and the other is your topic proposals for the formal analytical reports. I will tell you, I'm going to swap the order. I'm going to look at the topic proposals first because those are going to be the most relevant to your next steps. But I will get both of them back hopefully during the week. I'm going to grade them very quickly, but the instructions, of course, like the other smaller technical pieces, you will ultimately be revising those and putting them in the portfolios. So, but the topic proposal is going to be more important immediately. So I'm going to flip the order on those. So look for that coming up very, very soon. The other thing that I wanted to update with you guys is that I'm missing a lot of work from what I think is a higher percentage of folks than we normally are missing work from. So if you have not turned something in that was already due, please reach out to me in the inbox and let me know what's going on and if there's anything that I could do to help get you caught up. We are fast approaching the withdrawal deadline, so it may just be that some people have already decided to withdraw. And if so, then I'm sad, but I also understand sometimes these things just happen. But if you need some help getting caught up, please let me know. Touch base with me via inbox. All right. So let me share the syllabus first. We're going to take a look at where we are, reminders of the fact that we are back in business. So we are technically in week 10, I think it is. Yes, week 10. And you are still working on your FAR. That's the main piece. But we are also getting some information about job application materials. So kind of as a bookend to what we did at the beginning with the inventories of your personal work and school history, but also your interests. We're going to be practicing real documents that you would use in real life in terms of a resume and a cover letter situation. So that's what your readings are going to be focused on this week. And then over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be working on all those things. Your resume and cover letter draft assignment, and that is got draft in the title. So that one will be like some of these others where you will have a chance once you get the feedback to revise it. And that's going to be included in that final portfolio. We are not going to talk about that final portfolio yet. It is due in week 14, but we will talk about how to do that coming up in the not so distant future. But right now I want you to concentrate on the FAR because that is your biggest assignment of the semester. All right, so let me go ahead and go to the module and turn on the student view so everything looks appropriate. And we can make week 9 small. We're in week 10. So for this week in the learning materials, there's no new reading assignments this week. You've already read about what to do with the FAR and things like that. So there's nothing new that you need to read this week in the textbook, but I did put a link here to it. So if you do need to go back and review things to help with this week's work, you certainly can do that. There are some additional materials though. One is about revision. Actually, both of these are about revision. I'm sorry, my brain is not functional yet. And then we are going to take a look at the final portfolio in this week's materials. I don't want to talk too much about it because I want you to really read through what's in here and look at what's in here. And then we'll maybe address it a little bit more specifically next week. But you essentially have 3 more weeks before this final portfolio is due. Many of the pieces you already have back. So the only 2 things that are going to be in that portfolio that you don't have yet are the instructions, which again, that'll be the second thing I grade this week. And then the resume and cover letters, which don't come due for a little bit. So you will have a couple of things to add, but you can go ahead and be assembling your final portfolio with all the previous items that go in it. So I will go over this really briefly, but I want you to dig into it. So there's a link to the assignment itself, which is right here, and that's where you will turn it in. And of course, that's linked in the modules as well. But this will give you an overview of what's happening, how to format it. This is going to be a single document that has multiple things inside of it. The list of what is required is right here. So you will have your letters and memos that were originally submitted in week 4. You will have your sample emails and texts originally submitted in week 5. And I will say on both of those, there were a lot of folks who have some formatting upgrades that need to happen, as well as possibly content. But most of what needed to be fixed for the final portfolio is if your business letters don't look like business letters, or some of you had your emails and texts, but you just typed them out. You did not use a screenshot. So some of that is format stuff. So those will need to be fixed. There were some things in the letters and memos, though, that needed to be addressed, such as if you didn't address it to a particular person, especially for that last one, for the claim email or the claim letter. Sorry, my brain is combining all the words on the page. But so those were from week 4 and 5. And then all 3 of the small technical writing documents, the definitions and descriptions, which you now have back, both of those. And then, of course, the instructions, which you will get back this week. Those were due in weeks 6, 7, and 8. And then, like I said, your resume and cover letter will be kind of a last minute upgrade. You're going to submit them in week 13, so you won't have a lot of turnaround time once you get the feedback on that. There are some other resources here that help you to navigate something as simple as what is a portfolio. This one I think is very, very helpful, how to combine multiple documents into one. And then this one I think is also helpful because this particular assignment, because it contains a bunch of different pieces, really should have a table of contents. So this is great. I also gave you a link to this person's playlist because they have a huge list of Word tutorials that you may find helpful, not only for this class, but in general. One of the things that I'm always amazed, if I don't know how to do something, the first stop for me is YouTube. So I encourage you to do the same thing. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. So many people post things on YouTube that are helpful in getting new skills that we didn't know. So check out that playlist if you so desire. So that's what you are looking at this week in terms of the learning materials. And so then your only graded work this week is your thoughts on revision. Let me double check that. Yeah. So I saw at least one person had already turned in Q5. I don't know that I would do that until you get the feedback on the previous, but it's fine. If you need to redo it, we'll redo it. So your thoughts on revision is your discussion board this week. So in this discussion post, it's time to talk about revision, and there's some questions to get you started. With your own response, try to write it in essay form. So at least 3 paragraphs, intro, body, and conclusion. And then your responses to others, aim for 3 to 5 sentences. You're not required, but if you are going to try to get that extra credit, you want to make sure that you're responding pretty pretty fully. So we've already got to start. Great. Thank you. All right, so that's your marching orders for this week. As usual, feel free to shoot me in inbox message anytime. If you need some help on something, I will be happy to work with you on it. All right. So everybody take care. I hope you had a pleasant spring break, and I'll see you next Monday if I don't talk to you between now and then. Take care, everybody.